Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, and for this one, gonna be reviewing another one of my all-time favorite Disney animated films. Now, of course, as you all know, number 1, The Great Mouse Detective, number 2, The Nightmare Before Christmas, number 3, Robin Hood, number 4, Zootopia, number 5, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, number 6, The Lion King, number 7, Beauty and the Beast, and now, for number 8, it's The Jungle Book. Yes, The Jungle Book. What can you say about The Jungle Book? What can you say about The Jungle Book? It's amazing, and as some of us would know, it was the last film that Walt ever had his hands on, ever touched upon, and that he was associated with, etc. If you get what I'm saying. And yet he died just a year before it came out. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, and it was one of the last things that he ever touched upon. In fact, there are many, and yet, as we know, like, there have been many other things that Walt would have not gotten to see, or that he touched upon, like his new live action film, The Happiest Millionaire. Of course, some of Disney's most popular attractions, from Pirates, Haunted Mansion, Country Bear Jamboree, and of course, the Florida Project, which being Walt Disney World. And as his brother Roy Disney, he named Walt Disney World in honor of his brother. So, but jumping back to The Jungle Book, so The Jungle Book, I mean, what can you say? It's an amazing film. And of course, from the animation to the songs, the characters, everything. And the opening music, the opening credits, and the overture, the music to it, it's amazing. I love it. It's a really great piece of music. And of course, with the characters, because Bagheera discovers, a baby, and of course it's Mowgli, and takes Mowgli to the wolves, and that's when, he becomes a member of the wolf family, and years later, that's when, the wolves have a meeting, and yet Shere Khan has returned to their part of the jungle, and, I guess the leader of the wolves, Akela, just Shere Khan will surely kill the boy, and all try to protect him, and, tells Rama that, his son, adopted son, cannot stay in the wolf pack, and that's when Bagheera comes in and has an idea for where Mowgli can go, and which is the Man Village, and that's when Bagheera and Mowgli, they travel off into the jungle, and then, of course, later on, they stumble upon Kaa, of course, Say now, what have we here? Oh, it's a man cub. And then, of course, the next day, the elephants, of course, and then another great song, huh, 2, 3, 4. What's the name of the Colonel Hothy's March or something? I forget. And of course, Colonel Hothy Jr., both, him and, Mowgli, they become friends, I assume, during that, and, then that funny crash with the elephants, Pop, look out! Gee, Pa, you forgot to say halt. Pretty good music to that chase, that crash, and that's when, also later, Mowgli refuses to go to the Man Village, and that's when Bagheera tries, but then, and then he gives up, and, from now on, you're on your own, alone. Don't worry about me. And then, and that's when Mowgli meets Baloo, a beloved character in the film, and, of course, the best song from the film, Bare Necessities, and then at the end of that song, and, as they're out on the river, that's when, the monkeys grab Mowgli, and, hey, give me back my man cub, etc. And then, of course, come across King Louie, take him back to the temple ruins and such, And then, like, King Louie's there, another great song in the film, I Want to Be Like You, ooh, ooh, you know? I want to walk like you, talk like you, too, you see it's true. And of course, Louis Prima, of course, the one and only, singing that song. Of course, that another a funny scene, and the like Mowgli, like Baloo and Bagheera grabbing a hold of Mowgli and such. Monkeys get him, etc. And then the temple falls, you know, etc. And that's when they make it out there, and Baloo, you know, man, that's what I call a swinging party. And then, like, of course, Baloo, I keep saying Mowgli, Baloo and Bagheera have a talk and such, you know, because Bagheera has Baloo have him take him back to the man village. You know, it's up to you. Why me? You know, because he won't listen to me. And then Baloo, you know, but I love that kid. I love him as he was my own cub, you know. And that's when the morning hits and Mowgli and Baloo go off to do something. That's when Baloo confronts Mowgli. You know, I've got to take you back to the man village. The man village, you know? You said we were a team, you know? And you're just like, oh, Bagheera, now just wait a minute. That's going too far. And that's when Mowgli runs away, and really another really great piece of music playing. And of course, need I mention the music and score by the one and only the great George Bruns, who best composer and, you know, and music and such for Disney, you know. He was great. And with the music for Disney, you know, from the movies into the attractions, definitely. And so, like, Baloo and Bagheera, they go off to find Mowgli, and that's when we come to Shere Khan, you know. Great villain, of course, and he'd have to be probably my number 3 favorite Disney animated villain. Number 2 being Prince John, number 1 being Professor Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective. But anyways, jumping back to the Jungle Book, of course, the elephants come in, Bagheera, you know, halt! And who said halt? I give the order. Yeah, it was me, Colonel. Bagheera tells Colonel Hathi about, you know, Shere Khan and with the man cub, you know, and Shere Khan's hearing all this, you know, how delightful, how interesting, you know. That's when the elephants agree. Colonel Hathi, he agrees to help find the man cub, you know. Forward patch, you know, break down the branches such, looking for Mowgli, and with Shere Khan, element of surprise. Oh, I say. And now for my rendezvous with the lost man cub. And that's when we cut to Mowgli stumbles upon Khan, another great song in the film, Trust in Me, Just in Me. And also, a great scene is with Kaa and Shere Khan interacting, you know, it's a really good scene, I love it, you know. I just happened to drop by, and you know, but you were singing to someone. Who is it, Kaa? Who were you singing to, you know? And, you know, I was singing to myself, you know, hypnosis, let me show you how it works, you know. And then, of course, like, Shere Khan buys this, apparently, and, you know, like, if you happen to see the man cub, you inform me first, understand? I get the point, cross my heart, hope to die, and Shere Khan goes off, you know, and Mowgli, like, tumbles Kaa off the tree, you know, and as it kind of and as he did it earlier in the film, you know, when Kaa hypnotized Bagheera. Same animation, by the way, and even when, like, Kaa gets stuck in a branch, you know, and makes the sound of an accordion when he, you know, he gets hit by himself, you know, and, like, Kaa goes off. That's the last we see of Kaa in the film. And then we come to the sequence with the vultures at the Black Pool, you know, and, vultures, you know, hey, Flaps, what we gonna do? I don't know, what you want to do, you know? And the vultures, they're supposedly to represent the Beatles, you know? And they were going to be voiced by the Beatles, but that's when they had a change of plans, and I think one of them, John Lennon, didn't want to be in an animated film or have his voice be in a film. I don't know, I can't remember. In fact, another great song in the film, We're Your Friends, you know? It was supposed to be in the style of the Beatles, you know? But that was changed into a barbershop quartet because Walt felt that would seem outdated if it was done in the style of Beatles, you know? In fact, in that sequence with vultures, there was supposed to be another character named Rocky the Rhino, which eventually, like, Walt decided, you know, Walt cut him out, like, because it seemed that the sequence with the monkeys and the vultures seemed more fitting, and it seemed perfect, if Rocky, if you get what I'm saying. And of course, Rocky was supposed to be voiced by Frank Fontana, if I'm saying it right, who's best known for his character on the Jackie Gleason show, Crazy Guggenheim, if I'm saying that right. On the Jackie Gleason show, if I'm saying that last name right. I don't know. But anyway, so of course, a great sequence is with, Shere Khan and Mowgli, the vultures, and Baloo. That whole fight battle sequence going on, that's great, And the music, of course, once again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, fantastic, and George Bruns, as I said. Of course, Shere Khan gets defeated by, of course, with fire, like Mowgli attaches a twig or a branch on his tail with fire, and like the vulture, like, look behind you, chum, and like turns in, he runs off, roaring, etc. And that's when the storm rain hits, and then like it seems that Baloo is dead, or basically like Shere Khan really beat the crap out of him, basically. And yet Shere Khan, I'll kill you for this, But it turns out Baloo is alright, and even after Bagheera gives a speech, And that music that's playing, like an organ or whatever, it's actually, I think, the same piece of music that was played in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, yeah. Where the dwarfs think that Snow White's dead, they have, like, a funeral for her or something like that, It's the same piece of music playing. And yet Baloo, like, there's more, lots more, and Bagheera, why, you fraud, And that's when the vultures, they're left, and just, so what we gonna do? And like, I don't know, hey, now don't stop that again. And then we cut back to Baloo, Mowgli, and Bagheera, and like, hey, Baggy, too bad you missed the fight, like, boom, boom, and Baloo saying to Mowgli, nothing and nobody is ever gonna come between us again. And that's when we see the Man Village, and we, of course, see Shanti. Yeah, because, I mean, even in the credits, like, it's only mentioned the girl, it doesn't even have a name in there, but obviously we know now her name is Shanti, so, which of course is, pointed out and such in the movie, in Jungle Book 2, so, and of course, another, beautiful song in there, what is the title of that song? I mean, it's like, I must go to fetch the water till the day that I am grown, And apparently, like, Mowgli falls for Shanti, and it's kind of, and as it is kind of pointed out in Jungle Book 2, so. And that's when, like, she drops, like, the bucket or, well, whatever it's called, like, Baloo, she did that on purpose, and, like, Bagheera's like, well, maybe, or, I forget what Bagheera said, that's when Mowgli picks up and said, here, go ahead, like, kind of her, like, teasing him to come in the Man Village or something like that, and, like, Baloo, come back, Mowgli, come back, and Bagheera, go on, encouraging him to go, and Baloo's just not wanting him to come back in there with him, that's when Mowgli enters the Man Village, he's like, he's hooked, and like Bagheera, it was best for him, the boy couldn't handle it, or however he said, it was bound to happen, Mowgli is where he belongs now, yeah, I guess you're right, but I still think he ought to make one swell bear. Well, come on, Baggy Buddy, let's get back to where we belong, and get with the beat. And then they, of course, sing both Bare Necessities once again, both Baloo and Bagheera are really good, and it ends, as they're dancing and walking off into the sunset, and the music plays great and such, it's perfect ending with the words, the end, and boom, the movie fades to black, and then, the Disney logo shows, and such a great ending, and, the original ending to Jungle Book is interesting because it continues on right after he enters the Man Village, and this time with a hunter from the Man Village named Buldeo, and who would be in other editions of the Jungle Book. Like, there was more than just one, because of Ryder Kipling, there was a hunter from the Man Village named Buldeo who is now enemies with Mowgli. And yet, later on, like, Mowgli, like, Buldeo forces Mowgli to lead him to a treasure that's in the hidden city with the monkeys of King Louie. And that's when Shere Khan comes in, and, like, Mowgli distracts Buldeo as Shere Khan comes in to kill the hunter, and which I think he does, and then Mowgli uses the hunter's rifle to kill Shere Khan. And in the end, Mowgli's a hero, and then he lives in the village, and yet he's free to come, as he goes, the jungle, the man village, etc. But the actual ending to the Jungle Book is good. I mean, okay, I even heard that, because even, like, in the behind-the-scenes or documentary of the Jungle Book, like, there was this thing on the DVD of the Jungle Book with, a narrator and such talking about the Jungle Book, and bringing up on, Walt's biggest question: what draws Mowgli to the village after he spent the whole story trying to stay in the jungle? And Walt had two ideas. He had two ideas from a couple, two of Ryder Kipling's books of Jungle Book. One with Mowgli, of course, falling in love with Shanti. Years later he became a man, now married, etc. And the other being, of course, what's in the movie. Mowgli still sees Shanti, as I said. And that's the ending that Walt chose, and that was perfect for the ending of his Jungle Book. So and even like, the movie itself, like, it even, like, Disney's top story man named Bill Peet, he worked on this movie, like, his own version of the Jungle Book, and Walt really didn't like it, and it was not what he was going for, and, like, Bill Peet pretty much left the project, and I think he left the studio. However, one thing that's in the movie from Bill Peet is the personality of the characters. So that's the only thing, In fact, because even, like, the song Bare Necessities, it was done by, I forget what's his name, but, the guy who wrote the song Bare Necessities, he quit the film because Disney didn't want to do the dark, because Disney wasn't going to do the dark version. Because even from Ryder Kipling's books, they were kind of considered a bit dark, and depressing, etc. And that's why Walt told his staff and crew, okay, don't read the actual book, Okay, made that easy. And as I explained, they ditched it, too dark, depressing, and we end up what we got today. So, which is perfect and fantastic. A great Disney animated feature. And the rest of the songs, besides Bare Necessities, are, of course, done by the Sherman Brothers, as we all know. So, did a great job. But with all that being said, the Jungle Book, it's a fantastic Disney animated feature, and it being one of the last things that Walt ever touched upon, he had his hands on, etc. And for Jungle Book, well, I give it 10 out of 10 stars. Of course, why not? It's a fantastic film, and one of the best, and a classic Disney animated feature, as I said, And you guys only know what you think of the Jungle Book, because again, for me, I love it. It's great, and one of the best cult classic Disney animated features. So again, 10 out of 10 stars for the Jungle Book. Hope you enjoyed this review video. More new review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video /review video. Take care, and peace out.